Do I see another Aussie in Flagstaff? Liam Adams, good to see you.
How's it going, Matt?
Yeah, good. How you feeling before a big workout today on the cards? How's things?
Yeah, good. Quite nervous actually. Didn't get much sleep last night.
Okay.
I know. Like, I tried this session a couple of days just before coming to Flag, and I failed it. So
Okay.
yeah, wasn't good. I had 2 weeks, obviously, to. The stuff around selection was getting to me, but I had 2 solid weeks at work where I was, it was kind of panel weeks and that, so lifting like 28 kilogram panels, finishing off one of the jobs in Melbourne, and back was quite loaded, so I went in there with the tight back, sore hamstrings, and felt it pulling early on in the session, and I just thought I had to pull the pin on it, so yeah, a little bit nervous about the last time I did this session, but it's kind of a staple session where I really like to do it in my marathon preps.
Yep. So for those that don't know, what in a short version happened with the qualification? Australians would know, but other people outside of that may not know.
Yeah, something.
The Gold Coast Marathon, you ran 2:08.
Okay, yeah.
30, what was it?
2:08:39.
39.
Yeah, kind of. The prep for that, I kind of came to Flagstaff and had a shocking period just before, and I was just like, oh, I need to kind of get out of work and get back to loving running again and that. So I took some time off work, prepped for Gold Coast, and initially that was going to be a race that I was going to load up points with and then go for the qualifying standard at Berlin, and got a pretty good result at Gold Coast, the 2:08:39, third place at Gold Coast and fastest time by an Australian on Australian soil, so I was pretty happy with that result. And then basically after that result I'm like, well, let's spend another 10-11 grand and do a little altitude stint at Fartlek just before Berlin, and basically built on that prep at Gold Coast, got the shape of my life, and got sick race day, so absolute disaster there, just shattered, and then I thought, I'll have to go again, run another race, get that standard, and had a few injury niggles start of the year, and plans kind of changed, and I thought I'm sitting kind of safe in that ranking position. Kind of calculated what I needed and thought I don't need to go again, so I thought, all right, instead of spending another 10 or 11 grand on altitude training and flights and accommodation over at another international marathon, thought I'll save my savings, and if I make the Olympics I'll spend it towards that. So
Right.
yeah.
And so you were on the understanding that you'd be in the top, was it 80 for the qualifying?
Yeah,
and
top
you
80.
Were, but then the news came out just around the qualification time that they were going to put some universality, however you say it.
Yeah. So policy kind of said it's a dual qualification pathway, and all it ever really stated or stipulated was about time or performance qualifiers, which was the sub 2:08:10, and that they were kind of saying the last 50 will be probably made up of rankings, so guys who didn't get the time but ranked high enough to get in that top 80, and I know it's kind of throughout the whole process we're all under the impression that would happen, and generally every other time it's been universality athletes would be added as additional competitors. And
this time they shoved you in, they shoved them in front of you for some reason.
Yeah, that was just a complete shock. It was kind of funny. It was, so May 5th, this is Australian time, I get a phone call at work, on a roof somewhere, left my phone in the car.
By the way, for those who don't know, you work full-time.
Yeah, full-time Sparky, or electrician, for those who aren't Australian. I was at work, got a phone call around 2:30 in the afternoon. It was a phone call saying, congratulations, you've been selected. And they said, keep that to your friend, to your family and your coach, and the announcement will be like next week. And then, I don't know, I got a ball of excitement. Yeah, I made it, you beauty. Coach had already made, because I was sitting 74th in the ranking, and coach had already gone, yep, we're going. On that day, he actually sent me my Olympic marathon program, and that night, Wednesday, I'm like, bang, let's get into it.
Yeah.
And it's all full steam ahead. Then the following morning, I get a phone call from Athletics Australia going, we don't know what's happened to your spot, but universality athletes have taken it.
Oh no.
So, yeah, crazy, but ended up getting resolved, and yeah, it was a pretty stressful period.
Yeah.
Hard to train during it.
How long was that period between the time you got told no and then it's back on again?
Well,
it seems like it was
bit over a month.
Oh, it was
yeah.
over a month.
It was a month from
Okay.
when they told me,
Yeah.
yeah, you've been reinstated. So
Wow, I didn't realise it was that long. Okay.
yeah, I went that period just training up and down, and then just the stresses of work and all that. Yeah, training fluctuated. You kind of doing sessions, which are reasonably good for building up to, like, I'd say they're more so sessions which were building to a marathon program.
Yep.
It felt like, but really I should have been doing my marathon sessions back then. It just was pretty hard mentally, just trying to push when you don't know
What you're training for.
yeah, exactly. And
exactly. Yeah.
what happens if you get to the end of it, they go, look, nah, we're not going to reinstate you. So I was just like, well, you're spending like 10, 11 grand on something, and then end of the day, it's like, well, what are you training for?
Yeah, exactly.
What can I now use that training block for? And I think what the next marathon's probably Berlin, so a bit too early to be training for that.
Yep. Well, here we are, 3 weeks before the big one, and the big workout on the plan today. All right, so what is this? I've called it the Liam Adams special. How do you describe this big workout of yours, which you've done what appears to be in most marathon build-ups, sort of one of your key workouts leading in?
Yeah, so it's a longer workout, 34k. It's kind of equal recovery, and it's 17k of effort, and then the other 17 is kind of float recovery. So the kind of float recovery is there to kind of provide a bit of volume in the legs, and that. So it starts out 5k, 4k, 3k, 2k, 1k with the equal recovery. Then you get into 800, 600, 400, 200 to finish.
Sure. So 5k on, 5k float, 4k on, 4k float, etc., etc.
Yeah,
all the way
that's
down to
correct.
200. Yep.
Yeah, and generally I like to keep it 3-minute Ks and under, and then the floats, I don't know, you kind of work out what the floats should be. It's going to be tough up here.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit slower.
Yeah.
But normally, if you were at sea level on the flat, you'd aim for 255s, I guess. And
Yeah, something around
'cause I think I remember seeing one time you did this. I think your first 5k was like 14:20 or something like that.
I've done that a few times with this session.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I don't do it today, because it could be an absolute disaster. So general rule, I kind of like just under 3-minute Ks and trying to hold it the whole way for those efforts. And then the floats are, I don't know, somewhere between 320, sometimes under it, like under at sea level, but it could be a little bit over.
Yeah, we're probably working with about 10 seconds a K, 8 seconds a K slower.
So I think my best I've ever done for this session for 34k, so efforts and recovery included, it was averaging 305. So
Wow.
yeah. And that was just before Gold Coast. I did this session the day of leaving to America. And the day that I was leaving to go to Flagstaff to do that training camp.
305 average for the ons and the offs.
Yeah,
that is basically 210, 211 marathon pace.
It came to a big shock when I did it. I'm just like, holy shit, I'm pretty fit. And it was like, a partner was working in that, so it was just all solo down at Albert Park. I hadn't done that session before at Albert Park. It's pretty flat and you can roll pretty quick through there.
Yep.
And yeah, I just set my ute up, or I think the US guys might call it a truck car.
Yeah.
Because it's not quite a truck.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mix between a truck and a utility. So yeah, I just sat him on my bonnet and just every lap I just run through, grab a drink, and I know if it was effort, I was grabbing a drink through there and drinking it, or if it's a float, it's doing the same thing. So it was kind of like, I think it's roughly around a 5k loop around there.
So today we've got some altitude, a few little hills, a bit of heat. We've purposely gone a little bit later in the day to try and simulate what the weather will be in a few weeks.
Yeah. So I kind of feel maybe kind of test myself at the extremes. So this is probably the worst it'll probably get in Paris. Those type of heat conditions. So if I can do that and at altitude, then I should be pretty confident coming into Paris of the pace I can do and having the confidence that I'm ready for those conditions. So
sweet. Looking forward to the workout.
Yeah.
Last question, what's the fueling strategy before the...
Fueling?
Yeah. Got a bottle out there on the road?
Yeah, I got 3 250ml bottles with gels on them.
Yep.
Yeah, a bit of
sugar?
Bit of sugar, so one drink's like Powerade with beetroot juice and caffeine.
Yep.
The other one's Morden with beetroot juice and caffeine, and then the other one's Beta Fuel as well with, beetroot.
Do you think about carbs per hour?
I've generally been shocking with getting fuel in. So,
I
do a lot of runs where it's just like a lot of depleted, like no fueling, and I guess I don't really have that type of support network where I can have all these people out there handing me drinks during sessions. So a lot of the time it's just
old school.
Yeah, old school, and then come to race, hopefully get the benefit of the fueling. Yeah. But I kind of find that I struggle just to some equalize. Yeah, it's something I probably need to work on a bit, and I'll probably hopefully work on this, and might get a few little stitches or something like that, but just gotta walk through it.
Yeah, might get down the race.
Yeah.
So,
So just practice some fueling, practice that heat acclimatization and pace judgment, and then hopefully I get a really good workout and get some confidence from the session.
All right, let's get into it.
So guys, see you, mate.
Yeah, let's do it.
Coast a bit to try and get it to that 3-minute K pace.
250, first one, but a little bit downhill. We'll be right.
Yeah. Boys. Across the road.
I go too far.
What's up? Just before 10k.
Okay,
just
sounds good.
Get a rolling start.
Yeah.
Half K.
Ketone IQ are one of the leaders in the exogenous ketone space right now, and so many of the world's best endurance athletes utilize Ketone IQ in training and in racing. Those include Cam Worth, Sam Laidlow, Sarah Hall, Des Linden, even Cooper Tier and Cole Hocker, two of America's best distance runners, have recently signed on as Ketone IQ athletes. And you can try it out for yourself and see if you discover the benefits of energy and recovery with Ketone IQ. Thank you for sponsoring this video, Ketone IQ. Head to ketone.com/sweatelite for 30% off today.
Good. Bit of a humbling so far.
Yeah, but it's just not as fast here.
I know, definitely.
You're still
It
rolling
is
like
fucking warm.
Yeah. That's good though.
Sorry about the swimmers.
Ready for the race.
Yeah. There's a bit of 17k threshold a couple of weeks back in 304s.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in my mind.
Yeah.
And
was that here though?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Lake Mary Road. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, a bit frustrating, but well, I got to respect the heat.
You're still moving
This
well.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Some lessons learnt, and it'll be lessons learnt now rather than Tokyo.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Paris. That's how tired I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dinner the night before this
No, that's
workout to fuel up on some pasta to get ready for the long run. And Liam shared with me that he's done this exact workout before pretty much all of his key marathons since at least 2020. It may have even been before that, but at least he shared with me some of the data from this particular workout since marathons in 2020. And I think what's most interesting, and Liam messaged me after the workout and sort of took notice in the fact that there was really no parallel between how well he did this workout in terms of average pace for the entire 34 kilometers and how well he would do in the race. And the thing that I quickly pointed out, and we sort of briefly discussed this just after he finished the workout, is that weather and altitude are obviously two variables that can massively change the outcome of a performance and a training session. But it's very apparent here by looking at the data because, you know, Liam ran 2:10 in 2020 at the Lake Biwa Marathon in Japan. Ironically, I was also in that race. And that's one of his best runs to date, even though he has obviously run a little bit quicker at the Gold Coast Marathon a few years later. But before Liam ran 2:10 at the Lake Biwa Marathon in, you know, pretty windy, rainy conditions, he did this workout at 3:16 per kilometer, which is around 5:12, 5:13 per mile average pace for the whole thing. And, you know, some of these other workouts that he did before running the Commonwealth Games, where he came fourth in what was also probably not necessarily his fastest run because it was a championship race, but he, you know, placed fourth in a very strong field at the Commonwealth Games. His average pace is not as fast or anywhere near as fast as, say, when he did this before he ran the Gold Coast Marathon last year when he ultimately ran 2:08. But I quickly pointed out, and Liam also noticed, that the difference between running at Albert Park in Melbourne, which is very flat, in the winter when he did this workout, his fastest at 3:05 per kilometre, or pretty close to 5-minute mile pace. The conditions were very good and it was dead flat. And comparing these conditions and these variables to, say, today, where he has, a starting temperature of around 28 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 85, close to 85 Fahrenheit, and finishing at close to 90 Fahrenheit, or 31 degrees Celsius, and then add in the elevation of 2,000 meters, 7,000 feet, roughly. That is such a big difference. And I think, even though Liam is a little bit disappointed in this workout, and he sort of realizes through the middle that he's struggling a little bit, I think it's really important to understand and observe, and Liam fully understands this, that these conditions can play a huge role in altering the paces. And as a coach, I am telling this to the people that I coach all the time, it's really important not to get too tied up in comparing workouts, especially if the conditions are massively different between different workouts. And right now, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's very hot, and people trying to train for a marathon, your paces just aren't going to be anywhere near what they would be if it was much cooler. So this is really interesting to observe some of these workouts that Liam has shared leading up to some of his key races and how different the paces can be. Because ultimately Liam judges this workout mostly based on the average pace for the whole thing, which is pretty typical, pretty standard in a long run workout.
disaster.
No, it's not.
I think it's just without getting it done.
That's it.
Even if it's at tempo pace, just
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Huge lessons learnt with that one. So yeah.
Well, like you said before, it's better to learn a lesson here.
Yeah.
On Lake Mary Road, where no one really cares.
Yep.
Other than on the TV.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I think it's really important to understand and really take note here that the conditions can play such a big role in altering pace in training, and of course also in a race. But there's really no use in being disappointed about a workout if you're trying to compare it to another workout that's the same workout that's done in very different conditions. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I thought I'd throw this little part in there to share with you that some of the more recent times that Liam has done this workout leading into some of his big marathon performances.
The 200 then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That'll be the same then.
Finishing in 100. We'll come back.
Good job, man. That was that was really tough. I mean, you had everything against you. Bit of wind, bit of heat. Yeah.
The title of the video is humbling, I tell you that. Far out.
I was saying to you off camera though, I still think that was not too far off the effort at Upper Park. It was pretty similar if you equate a few things. So,
Yeah.
but I think as you purposely did this, of course it's got a few hills. It's going to be hot. Like, that's perfect for what you need to do in a few weeks. So.
Probably not a great deal of hills on this, but
Yeah. You had to
I
keep
think-
going up that one near the car park. That's kind of steep.
yeah. A little bit of a stinger. Just heat and altitude combination.
Yeah.
I haven't done that session at that high. I've done that session at Font-Romeu and Falls Creek.
That's much lower.
So I'll look up the splits that I did for them and get back to you. But
Yeah.
that's 2,100 meters. That's
different ballgame.
whole new level, that one. So,
What are you going to eat after this?
oh mate, I don't feel like eating.
You don't feel like eating?
Nah, I don't know. It just usually after like marathons or hard sessions or long sessions, stomach's not great.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the carbs. Like I couldn't get much carbs on today.
Okay.
I felt like I was forcefully, like I was craving the water.
Okay.
So I had to
think
get
that's just
strange.
dehydration probably.
Dehydration. Maybe I've got the mixers too strong.
Okay.
Maybe I've got to dial that down a bit. And I think just with today, just dipping the hat in water as much as I could, it was drying up in less than 2 k's. It was hot.
Yeah.
I was wanting to show it off straight away. I think race-wise, I'm gonna maybe stitch in a little pouch on top. It's not this one, but I'll get some hole punches and punch some holes in there, and
Get some ice in there.
I think I just gotta try and cool down the head, cool down the body as much as I can,
For sure.
like I did at Sapporo.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things, pre-cooling and that, and could add into it as well, and that should make a huge difference as well. Lots of things I learnt today, lots of mistakes. Didn't get the pre-fueling right, a little bit of a stitch to start with.
Okay.
And then usually when I have trouble sleeping, like night before a big session or a race or anything like that, I kind of use that as an opportunity to take a meal on, because usually I really hate taking like food on just before the race. I feel like it kind of gets you close to getting a stitch, and I don't want to risk it. And last night it just went over my head. I should have, like when I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I should have just been going, reach over the bedside table, grab some food, eat it. And there's a lot of things I got wrong today, so
It's all good. Still pretty solid hit out though.
it is what it is. More benefits from that than anything else.
For sure, absolutely.
It is disappointing that I had ideas and goals in my head, but it was a bit too ambitious. So I think it's a bit of humility in that. I probably got it all wrong, stuffed it up. got a bit ahead of myself, and I think that'll help with pace judgment on the day. I don't want to be feeling like that early on. Just
Absolutely.
a bit more controlled than that. But conditions aren't going to be like that. I think when I read the predictor last night, I think it, like in that first hour, it jumped up from 3 degrees. So I probably felt that. Yeah, I don't know what the temperature is now.
It must be about probably 26, 27, I reckon.
It's more. Maybe it's about that when we
Probably
started.
close to 30.
Yeah.
Well, all the best in the rest of the training camp, man, and
Cheers,
all
mate.
the best in Paris.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.